I can't speak for other people. I don't really know what motivates people to do the things that they do or be the people that they are. But for me, it's like kind of like I have to. Like there's always been this vision of things that I'm supposed to be doing. You know, like I was a child when I first started teaching myself to perform, when I started recording music videos on VHS and learning the choreography. I wasn't even a teenager yet. And for some reason, I took it very seriously. And I would spend sometimes like 7 hours a day rehearsing this or rehearsing that, or learning to write songs, or recording my favorite TV shows, learning the lines, and performing the scene with the TV show. I don't know why I did these things, but I do. And the interesting thing is, like, I think it was Eric Glass who said something to the effect of it takes a while for your talent to catch up with your taste. And the interesting thing about being me is in my mind, I've always had a vision of who I am. And kind of like a living sculpture, I've been chipping away at the sculpture that's inside the stone. I'm sure many of you have heard this before, this idea that there's this slab of marble and the sculpture is already in there. And the sculptor is just releasing it. It already exists perfectly, the sculpture inside that slab. And that's what I felt like, a slab of stone. But I always saw the sculpture inside the slab of stone. And so I'd meet people at various points in my life who saw me the way I was at the time. Because they didn't have the vision. They obviously don't know what I'm thinking. They don't know where my mind is. They don't know the blessing that God has put over me, the grace over my life. They don't know that, but I do. And even at times, I remember there were times where I would do performances, right? I specifically remember doing a performance in San Francisco, and I had zero money. I mean, when I say I had no money, I had no money. So I was making the best of what I had, right? And at this point, I had been performing for years, like maybe 10 years, but I just didn't have anything. I just gotten back to the country. I had been gone from the country for like 3 years, whatever, something like that. And this person came up to me and was like, "You're a really great performer, but just work on," they were talking about something with my makeup and my appearance, my what I was wearing. And so they're judging me. It's hard to describe, but pretty much they were judging me based off my appearance, thinking it was a choice, where when it was really like, I'm not going to let the fact that I don't have all these things stop me. And I remember them talking to me from this like higher up place in their mind, like they were sitting up on a pedestal talking down to me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, honey, I know this. I'm just not letting the fact that I don't have all these things stop me. And that has always been what's going on with me. I don't let the fact that I don't have this or that perfect stop me. I keep going. I do it no matter what. Part of the reason why I do a lot of the video stuff with me in the background is because I used to have dancers. I had dancers for years in Philadelphia. And now I'm so grateful for them because they were so dedicated. I've never met people as dedicated as the people I knew, the dancers I was working with in Philadelphia. Never. I have never, And I've met some great people, in other places in Mexico City and San Francisco, but the dedication was out of this world. But the reason I really do the things, with the video with me dancing in the background is so that I don't have to depend on other people. I remember when I first started, my aim was always to collaborate. And so it was like, okay, I'd go to this person and I'd say, I have this idea to do this thing. And they'd say something to the effect of, that's a lot of work, or that's impossible, or you can't possibly do all that. Even recently, last year, I had an artist agreement with an organization. And I told them my plan. And you know what they said? They didn't say, "That's a great plan, go ahead, we encourage you." They said, "Oh, you don't have to do all that. That's a lot. Like, you're not even going to be able to do that. Do you think you'd be able to do that?" And I wasn't shocked when I heard it, but it's a reminder. Every time I hear that, it's letting me know that this person doesn't work like I work, which is fine. But also that not everybody has your vision. You can't always just rely on other people. You think, oh, I have this vision, and everybody's gonna see it that way, and they're gonna be like, great, go ahead, do your thing. No, that's not what it is. People share their own fears. People also don't want to work. And so they sometimes want to stop you from doing your best if it means that they're going to have to do more. And that's why I spend a lot of time doing things by myself, because I'm not interested in absorbing other people's insecurities. Sometimes people too, they don't want to see you succeed. They want to see you succeed up to a point that's really comfortable for you. I remember I knew this person who, after I had the fire last year, and everything burned in the fire, right? I had no clothes, I had nothing, right? I was talking to another friend, and I was wearing something, and I said, I feel like a cartoon character, like I'm just gonna wear this outfit all the time. And this person, with a side eye and sarcasm, said, you mean you don't wear it all the time? And I remember thinking, because this is someone I've known, I remember thinking, you're gonna take a low blow at me after a fire, after everything burned in a fire, to say this sarcastic thing about how often I wear this outfit because it's the only outfit I have. And when I saw that, I knew then that I had to begin distancing myself from them. That was a result of their insecurity, of them seeing me, despite the fire, doing very, very well. And I often find myself, watching the behavior of the people around me to let me know how close I can actually be with them, and it's an interesting experience. And sometimes I want to just stop. You don't know how many times I thought, you know what, I'm just going to move to some town, I'm just going to get some job, and I'm just going to do, I'm just going to do that job and go home every day. And I've tried, but I can't. There's this thing that just keeps pulling me and saying, no, you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to be I don't know. I still don't even know. I've done so many different things, and everybody knows me for something different. I remember recently I saw a bunch of friends that I knew when I was but when I was working primarily as an actor, right? And so they're talking to me and they're saying, oh, have you written any new scripts? When's the last play that you did? Are you still doing plays? And it's right. Everybody knows me for something different. But I know me for all the different things. You know what I mean? No one knows you like you know you, except the universe, except God, the all-knowing, knows you. And sometimes it feels like the all-knowing has a plan for you. And I feel like that plan has been unraveling for me for years, because I do so much. I do graphic design, I do video editing, I dance, I also choreograph, I also compose my own music, I also remix other things, I write songs, I write articles. I used to have a website that was just articles that I wrote about life, and I interviewed porn stars, and they would actually do the interviews, which was crazy to me. I did all this stuff on my own. No one, said, hey, keep going.